Well, I'm on my way up to I've just been into town there to do a drug test. Another negative for Big Porky, eh? What's happening in this world? Porky giving negative drug tests. Oh my god. I'm just on my way up to see Dennis regarding July 5th show. All being well, should be finalising opponent any day now for Tommy, Frank and Josh Whale. A few obstacles to overcome, and Josh Whale's an hard kid to match actually, because he's been world ranked and he can fight, and he's like a kind of in between, isn't he? Where, you know, he's going to a new weight division. It's an hard one this time, but it's not that we haven't faced before, me and Dennis. So I've just heard that Ryan Rhodes and Steffi Bull are putting on World Championship boxing July, I think 19th. World title fight. I don't know who's fighting the world title. So that's good news for area, isn't it? A world title fight in, look at that, unbelievable. World title fight in South Yorkshire for Steffi Bull and Ryan Rhodes. I wonder who it could be. I'll probably add something to the end of this video, we'll probably know then. I just heard that it's a world title fight, but I don't know who. So that's good for Ryan. I like Ryan. I think he's a top man. He's the best fighter in the country ever to win a world title. I think it was bad luck and bad timing for him, because he has beat former world champions. Plant Park, get in your lane. But let's hope it's a good show. I wonder if it could be then. I wonder who's fighting for a world title. I wonder who they'd have on their books, Ryan or Steffi will be fighting for a world title. Unless it's an eliminator. I don't know, I can't think who it can be. I'll have to check when I get in. I'm not going to check on my phone while I'm driving, that's against the law, isn't it? Alright. But, strap this in. Nice and firm. Trying to race me in that then. How dare he, man? Does he know who I am? What I want to talk about today is the Lineal Championship for the heavyweights. Now, I had a lot of emails in, so I just want to put it to bed. Alright? Now, first things first. Stig is a mate of mine. We have big differences over boxing, but he doesn't end up in threats and abuse. Stig has his opinion and I have my opinion. So a lot of people keep saying to me, yeah, Porky, you need to do a video on this and give us your opinion. I think I've given it in bits and bats, so I'm going to go through it now, and then I don't want to speak about it again then, because it's boring me. And I'm going to do a video regarding this Fury Power group thing that Stig does. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing, he's not breaking any laws. First off, we'll start with the Lineal. Right, Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko in 2015. Vladimir was a 40-year-old, 10-year world champion. We all agree on that, don't we? So far, so good. Right, we agree on that. Tyson beat him in a mandatory decision. Mandatory. Still got the win. One judge had it a draw, the other two judges had it to Tyson. Now Tyson's style looks like he's schooling people, but feinting and doing all that stuff that Tyson does when he's in the ring and hands behind the back, right? That's all very well, but when you're feinting and you've got your hands behind your back, you're not throwing punches, are you? You're working the ring. That's why they had a big hoopla over the sponge in the ring under the canvas. Now after the fight, Tyson's feet were a mess, all skin were hanging off. That's because his style is loose, isn't he, all the time? He's mastered a style that works for him. Go on then. What are you doing? Why don't we just get to the junction and park there? Let's all get to a roundabout and just park there. Hey? Unbelievable. I bet it's a woman. It's a man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look, wants to race now. Unbelievable. Right. Before we bumped into the beard of wonder there, looked like Rob Tebbett, didn't it, with that stupid beard. Before we bumped into the snail, that as soon as you give them a pip they all start wanting to road rage. Right. Tyson beat Vladimir, didn't he? Right. He beat him in a mandatory decision. Mandatory. Because these are experts that judge these fights. Experts. Right, so he's beat Vladimir, he's got the decision. Tyson's the world champion. I had him winning fight anyway, but feinting and hands behind back, that's not scoring points. It's taking mickey out your opponent to give off the aura that you're doing it easily. It's like when you have a close round, if you stick your hands up like that and go to the judge, you're trying to convince people that you're winning it easily. You're creating a narrative. Because we're humans, we're creatures of habit. Now, Tyson beat Vladimir, he beat Wilder, but he didn't school them. I don't want to hear about this schooling business. Schooling's when you do a Frotch Abraham. Shout out to them people who always stick it to me for mentioning Frotch. Well, he did school Abraham, two judges had him winning 12 rounds. That's a schooling. When you get dropped twice in a fight, you don't school people, do you? So anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. Right. 2015, Tyson beat Vladimir Klitschko. Now, the only people that are going to say it's a schooling are the people who are going to want to work with Tyson, aren't they? Or people who want reflected glory by mentioning his name. He beat Vladimir. He didn't handle it very good, did he? So he's the Lineal, this fictitious belt that doesn't exist. He's the Lineal Champion. So every time he fights after that, he's defending his Lineal belt. Right? Sarifi and the guy after him who he fought, him who we were going to turn into an Italian sausage, were they defenders of this Lineal belt? No, they weren't, were they really? Come on. We know what we're going on, don't we? Right, but let's back up a little bit. After Tyson won the Lineal Championship, he was being investigated for nandrolone, high levels, elevated levels. Right. Now this is my opinion. Other people can word it how they want to word it. But I'm going to word it like the man in the pub. Nobody's saying he's not a masterful boxer. Nobody's saying he's not a fighting man. Nobody's saying he doesn't deserve respect for getting in the ring. But after that, he was being done for nandrolone, wasn't he? Right? So he's getting done for nandrolone, right? We agree on that, don't we? Right, we all agree on that. While he's being done for that, he's failed a drug test for cocaine. He's then been tested again and refused. Well, they tried to test him. He's refused. So basically he's up for 3 drug tests. He's looking at a 12-year ban. Now, he's then got into depression. Well, it's easy to say you're getting depressed. If it looks like you're going to lose your career, and all them possible millions, what are you going to do? Of course you're going to turn to drink and drugs, and you're going to be depressed over it. The depression weren't brought on when he won the world title, because he was flying then, wasn't he, at that press conference at Bolton. He weren't depressed then, were he? It's only when you start digging a bit deeper, and the nandrolone test, and then the coke test, and the failed coke test, that's what brought everything else on. But then you can turn a negative into a positive. Now, I'm not going to go into dialogue that I had with Tyson when he were out of boxing, because that's private. But in my opinion, I don't think he was ever depressed at all. I think the depression was brought on by his livelihood being taken off him, and he's turned a negative into a positive, because that's what he does. That's what he does. But moral of the story is this: we're getting back to this Lineal. Eventually, he accepted a backdated 2-year ban. Now, if you're innocent of taking PEDs, that's performance enhancing drugs, if you're innocent, right, if you're innocent of that, why take a 2-year backdated ban? People like Stig and these friends that are in Fury Power, I'm not sure how many groups there is for Fury Power actually. Is it Fury Power, and then there's a Fury Power 10, and then there's that Move Counter King. You've got to give Stig his respect. He's pretty relentless in what he believes in, so I can respect that, and Dennis respects that. But there's respect, and there's talking utter madness. Utter madness. Now, Stig, he's a passionate person. I've met Stig on 3 separate occasions. He's very passionate about everything he does, whether it's his job as a taxi driver or his missus who he's seen at the time. He likes to take them out to fancy hotels and spoil them. He's a passionate person. I can respect that. But what I don't respect is people talking utter nonsense. If you go watch my interview with Stig, I give him the opportunity to answer questions, and it was like a cat playing with a ball of wool. Right. Stig answered all them questions, he didn't dodge any. I respect that. But the moral of the story is this: Tyson Fury lost his Lineal status in 2016. That's the facts. How you get that Lineal status back is this: you go and beat the guy who's got all the belts, and I'd say you get Ring Magazine belt on the line as well. So he's got to beat Joshua, fight Joshua. Ring Magazine will then put that belt on the line, and it sort of gives it the icing on the cake. Now, you try and argue with these people about this Lineal status, and everything's there for debate, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because it's open to interpretation. This Lineal status, it's a load of rubbish. There's 5 main belts. Tyson had 4 of them, Wilder had the other, and there was the ring belt. He had all them on the line. When he beat Vladimir, he got 4 belts plus the Ring Magazine. Now he vacated, retired, and took a backdated ban. Put it in whatever order you put it in, he's not the Lineal Champion, in my opinion. But he's come back. He's had 2 wins against bums from Bum City, and then he's had a draw. That's basically what's happened. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't see any belt in his locker, because when he defends, when he fights in July, or is it June? Fights June 15th, doesn't he, or 16th? He fights next month. I look, and it says Tyson Fury against Tom Schwartz, and it doesn't say that it's for any belt. But I've also seen promotion posters that say for the Lineal Heavyweight Championship of the world. So that's the creme de la creme. Now Tom Swartz, he doesn't have a belt. And in the last couple of years he defended against a guy called Dennis Lewandowski. He's a big 26-year-old man who's really fat out here. And he went the distance with Tom Swartz, this Dennis guy. 10 rounds with him. Now this same guy has just fought Fabio Wardley. Now I know for a fact that Eddie Hearn brought this guy in to fight Fabio. So he vacated, banned, retired. You don't just come back and say you're Lineal. You've got to beat the man at the time. Anthony Joshua is classed as the man. He's got 4 belts. The other belts, Wilder's, on the Ring magazine is vacant. Tyson doesn't have a belt. Stig and his friends from Fury Power, they are dedicated Fury fans. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need to start talking proper boxing here. Their man who they're elevating, the man who failed a drug test with elevated levels and took a backdated ban, the man who refused a drug test, the man who failed cocaine test, that man doesn't have a belt. How many more times do I have to prove this? It's beyond ridiculous. I don't like being tagged in on this debate on Twitter, but I'm also in an opinion. In my opinion, Tyson Fury is a fantastic boxer. He beat Wilder just. He beat Vladimir just. He didn't school them, but he did put his hands behind his back in the ring because it gives the impression that he's schooling you. Do you understand? He got dropped. He jumped up, he put his hands behind his back. He's got to try and take the play away from your mind, what you're seeing. If you get dropped twice in a fight, you have not schooled that boxer. Do you see where I am coming from with this? Bang, bang, bang. Am I getting through to you people that do not understand the word schooling? Alright. He shaded a win against both fighters, Vladimir and Wilder, but he won both times. The record books say a win against Vladimir and a draw against Wilder. That is it. He has got one win, one world title win. One world title win. Let me say that again for you people who do not understand what I am saying. The number 1 is after 0 and it is below 2. It's number 1. One world title win. 1. There you go, 1. You see where I'm coming from now? 1 world title win. That is it. 1 against a man 40-year-old in his 68th fight. 1 world title win. I'm going to say that again in a minute because I don't think people are quite hearing what I'm saying. Are you ready? Are you ready? All you people who don't understand what I'm saying. Tyson Fury has 1 world title win. Yes, he has the tools to dominate. For 10 years, he has an awful style. He is a masterful boxer. Masterful. He is in the Floyd Mayweather bracket and a Pete Roy Jones for masterful boxing. He is more than capable of beating Joshua and beating Wilder. But he is also very vulnerable. He is more than capable of getting knocked out against those guys. And he is more than capable of schooling Dillian Whyte. Easily, but he's more than capable of getting knocked out by Dillian Whyte. The big 3, the other 3, because there's 4 in the pot now, isn't there? We've got 2 with belts. Joshua, 4 belts. Wilder, 1 belt. That's 5 belts. That only leaves Ring Magazine belt, that's vacant. The other 2 guys in the melting pot are Tyson Fury, who's making a claim to Lineal status, but he is not. He is not. And the other guy is Dillian Whyte, who's basically the number 1 ranked guy in 2 organisations, or 3, 2 or 3, don't quote me on that. He's in the mix. They're the top 4 guys. The other guys are also rans. Luis Ortiz, 41-year-old. Brazil, Rivers, Andy Ruiz, they are also runs. It's like having an horse race. You have Shergar, then you have also runs. You have Rocker Gibraltar and Rent also runs. Then you have Red Rum, then you have also runs or also runs. That is it. There's 4 guys worth talking about at the heavyweight division. 2 have got belts, the other 2 do not have belts. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Tyson Fury is like Dillian Whyte. He does not have a belt, but he is a former champion. He is not going to risk a fight with Dillian Whyte. If he gets caught, he can get put down. In a boxing match for 12 rounds, Dillian Whyte, Wilder, Joshua, they will get to Tyson Fury at some stage. Wilder got to him twice. Joshua will get to him. Dillian Whyte will get to him. When in the fight, I don't know. Tyson will not knock them out. He doesn't knock people out. So what they're going to do, they're going to put him in with people. They're going to protect that there. That is called a chin. Tyson Fury has been down 5 times as a pro. 5. That chin needs protecting because he has only been in 2 world title fights. He has been knocked down 3 times in other fights. Non-world title fights. So if you're getting dropped in non-world title fights by smaller men, you will more than likely be dropped by Dillian Whyte and Joshua and Wilder. But take nothing away from Tyson Fury, he is a masterful boxer, but he is very vulnerable. That's why he's not going to be risked. They have created a massive personality. He has got a massive following, and he's a great boxer. He's also a great person, but he is also very uneconomical with the truth. But he's feeding his family, he's not breaking the law, so he's doing nothing wrong in my eyes. But this lineal status, no matter how much they want to put on it, it is talk from, it's just talk from madness talk. It's craziness. It is utter craziness, and it needs to stop. It's very embarrassing. Now, getting back to the other stuff, I spoke to Stig and I said, Stig, do yourself a favour, Stig, and stop with this Fury power thing. Stop it, mate. It needs to be stopped. But he said he's only going to stop it if Tyson or Peter ask him to. Look, I don't know Tyson as well as I know Peter. I know Peter Fury very well. Peter Fury is not the type of person to come out and say, well, you stop that, because he doesn't like confrontations. Peter is a very quiet, private person. But if Peter Fury liked the Fury Power group, he would come out and he would interact with them, wouldn't he? Now, I'm not going to repeat things that have been said, but this is how I look at it. I don't think, knowing Peter Fury as I do, that he'd want to back anything like that, because it's embarrassing. That's my opinion. But if I were in that Fury group, I'd sit back and I'd say, would I want my name out there all the time like that? There's nothing wrong with backing somebody, but there's backing them and there's doing that, isn't there? Now, I tried to make light-hearted banter out of it when I did that episode of the Porky and the Stig show. Stig came on as a guest on my show in Surrey. I took him out for a bite to eat and he was good company. And I tried to be as genuine as I can and have a bit of light-hearted banter, but Stig knows my opinion on it, but that's up to him, right? That's up to Stig, right? But that's how it goes. I know I'm tagged in on that conversation on Twitter, and well, I were, but I know it's muted now, so it don't matter at the end of the day. I've got nothing wrong against Stig or his friends that are in this group thing, this club thing, whatever. These are grown men. Good luck to them, but I don't tweet on it. Go on, love. Go on then. But I ain't got no against it, but knowing Peter as I do, I don't think that Peter will tweet to it. If Peter tweets and gives an opinion, brilliant. But I'd look at it like this: if I was in that group, does Peter Fury retweet it? Does he? He don't retweet it, does he? He don't comment, he doesn't like it. So that means that Peter's probably muted it. I know for a fact that Tyson's muted it because he told somebody I know. But that's their opinion, isn't it? They're not going to come out and add fuel to it, are they? But if I were in that group, lads, and I know you're watching this, I'd just say, look, you've made your point about what you believe in. You believe that Tyson's going to be... Look, you believe that Tyson's going to... Look, you believe what you're going to believe, but you believe that Tyson is going to beat Joe Louis's record. He's fighting Tom Schwartz. Now, if he's going to beat Joe Louis's record, and he's fighting twice a year, he's going to have to fight for the next 14 years to beat the record, isn't he? So, Tyson is not going to beat Joe Louis's record. To beat Joe Louis's record, you're going to need a belt for starters, and by the looks of it, he's not going to be going for a belt till 2020 when he's 32. So to beat Joe Louis's record, he'd have to defend that belt for 13-14 years. That'd take Tyson to 46. So when you think about it, this is a message to the Fury Power Group. He's not going to beat that record realistically, is he? Nobody's saying he's not a great fighter. Nobody's slagging him off. He's not going to beat the record. Who knows, he may never even fight for a world title again, Tyson Fury. It may not happen. So, it may not even happen. So, do you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. He may not fight for a world title again. But if he does, I'd have him as a favourite against Joshua or Wilder because he's got an awful style. But I'd also say that Joshua and Wilder, they're a good bet for a knockout, aren't they? If Wilder can do that to Tyson in round 12, imagine what he could do early doors. In round 9 and round 12 he was still carrying power and he was very tired. So could you imagine what had happened next time? Wilder wouldn't try and play a chess match with Tyson. I think he just could put it on him. Because Tyson didn't really hurt Wilder, did he? He's not really got a style to knock him out. But if he hits you, you're going to go down, aren't you? But I very much... If Wilder hits him, he's going to go down, isn't he? But Wilder's got to get to Tyson. But Tyson's getting older, isn't he? So are the other ones, but power's last thing you lose. So in my opinion, Wilder and Joshua are a good bet by knockout to beat Tyson, but I'd have Tyson as the favourite. But as regards the Fury Power Group, I wouldn't have thought that Peter and all them had backed that. I wouldn't have thought that. I know for a fact that the people around them wouldn't back it either, but nobody's telling anybody what to do. We're not going to say do this and do that, because these are grown men. They can do what they want. They're grown men. I'm the last person to tell anybody what to do with what I do, aren't I? With my videos, I'm very controversial, but I'm not hurting anybody, am I? I'm not hurting anybody, but I like to talk with reason. When I'm wrong, I'll stick my hand up and say, you know what, I got that wrong. But this Lineal status, I seem to be, our Twitter group, at Corner Porky, he's tagged into it all the time, and I'm no part of that. I'm not saying he's Lineal Champion, so I don't want to be tagged into it. So if you could untag me in it, even though I think Nicola's muted you, I don't want to be in that talk. I don't want to put my name to that kind of talk, because I find it embarrassing, very embarrassing. So, well, what do you know, Dennis is not here. But as far as I'm concerned, I do not want to be in that kind of chat. Okay? I don't want to be in it. It's cringe. But I do like Stig. I think he's funny. And I think his heart's in the right place. But I don't class Stig as a hardcore boxing fan, because he's only been to 2 shows as my guest, and he went to the Parker fight, didn't he, against Huey. So if you're only going to go to 3 shows, he might have been to 4, I'm not sure. I don't class that as hardcore. But it don't mean to say that he's doing anything wrong. He's in his cab all day and he's on his phone. He's happy as a pig in muck, isn't he? So he's not harming anybody. Stig is not harming anybody whatsoever. So, do you know what I mean? He's not harming anybody. That's basically it, really. So, but I wish them all the best with the group, but I do think that it's kind of a bit cringy, and I think in years to come, the people who are in that group, when they look back at it, they might think, what were we doing here? We're grown men, and who is this other account, this anti-Joshua, and they're anti-against Anthony Joshua. I don't understand that. Now Joshua, in my opinion, I don't call him Joshua, I call him Femi, and I think that he's just about as paper champ as you can get. Them belts are Tyson Fury's belts, but that's not his fault how Tyson lost the belts. Eddie Hearn manipulated the system and he got them belts without having to fight Tyson. And they got Tyson's leftovers with Vladimir, but that's not Joshua's fault, is it? That is not Joshua's fault. So, do you know what I mean? But as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to be tagged in, guys, so if you can untag me from that group, I'd be very grateful. And don't have me name in that conversation, that Lineal stuff. I don't mind in anything else, but we're not going to comment on it. There's no comment from me, and I don't think you've had a comment off Tyson or Peter Fury about it, have you? So in my opinion, I'd turn it in. That's what I'd do, I'd turn it in. Dennis, I'm at office now, where are you? Your office, not mine. So I've parked in David's spot. Alright mate, I'll be here for the next half an hour. So I don't know if I've got a parcel, Raymond, I'll find out now. That's about it really. Carl, there should be a parcel there for me at garage. Let me know if there is, mate, and I'll come and get it. If I don't get back in time, because I think I'm going out with Dennis, take it home, because it might be about 9 o'clock when I get to yours. I'll just call off motorway at yours and your house and get it. It's just something for kids from somebody that follows Pilot's channel. So, alright mate, cheers pal. Other than that, I think that's about it really. How many minutes we got? 30 minutes plus this 7 minutes. That's about it really. So, in my opinion, my name's Russ from Porky's Corner. Tyson Fury is a former Lineal heavyweight champion of the world. He does not have a belt. Vacated, retired, 3 drug tests. 1 refused and 2 other drug tests failed. Now, and he was 2.5 years out at ring. So it's there in black and white. So anybody who believes anything other, that is called, that's deluded, isn't it? If you drive a black car and you're telling everybody it's red, and on logbook it says black, and see, I drive a black car, right, a Mercedes coupe. If I walk about Sheffield now and I'm saying, do you like my red Mercedes? People are going to go, it's black. I say, no, it's red. I said, no, it's black. I said, look, give me a logbook. It says black on logbook, right? So why are you running around saying it's red, Russell, when it says black on logbook and the car is black? And it's same with Tyson. Documentation says he took a 2-year backdated ban, right? So if you take a 2-year backdated ban, any belts or status you have, it goes. So to be running around then still saying that, yeah, you're Lineal, it's crazy. Because that's the proof that the documentation proves it. So that would be deluded talk. If you look up the word deluded in the dictionary, look it up. It don't mean to say I'm having a go at these people, but they are fanatics. Stig is a fanatic, but I think it has overtook him in some sort of way, and I'm worried for him as a mate. I am worried for him, but that's just Stig, innit? That's just how he is, innit? So, but it is deluded talk. He is not the Lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. He is not. Nobody is the Lineal champion. The man at the moment who has all the belts is Joshua, but until he beats Tyson or Wilder, he can't be the man. Now, in my opinion, Joshua needs to fight Wilder. He needs to fight him for the WBC belt and all the other belts, and get the ring belt as well. And then Joshua will then be the man. Because it's a different era to Tyson's, isn't it? 2015, right, is when Tyson won his world title fight. And at this moment in time, the next world title fight that Tyson Fury possibly can win will be 2020. 2015, 2020. Do we see where I'm going with this? Right? This is deluded talk to say he's lineal. I can't even get the word out. It's that embarrassing. It's embarrassing and it's shocking, and I don't want to hear this talk no more on my timeline. So kindly take me out the timeline or whatever. But if we're muted, we'll be in that timeline. Nicola, mute it. Mute us on that, because I keep having a look at it and I'm dying to say something, but I can't get on. But it's no detrimental, but we all have opinions and boxing's full of them. But if anybody sees a belt that says Lineal on it, this imaginary belt, can somebody let me know, because that belt will be priceless. Alright? Peace out. Keep on trucking.